Hey, Shalom! Sister Kate here with yet another viewer-suggested video. This one is from Linda Hipple, and hers was very similar to the Vision wish list. It was goals for spring and summer. So I covered my biggest concerns there in the wish list video. However, I think I can expand on that just a little bit because that was my vision in my wish list, but I do have goals, and it's every year I try to get certain things done. I try to get the garden in on time, and I try to plant as many different varieties of vegetables as I can, and I've gone over them with you before many times, but I can list quickly. I've planted kale and peas. So far we have the walking onions, the Jerusalem onions are already coming up. We've got garlic coming up, and there should be lettuce coming up, because all of those plants we planted with the, not perennial, but you know what I mean, like they throw down seed and then more plants grow. So I've already done that in the past, so we get things like lettuce and onions and garlic coming up every year, and mustard. The mustard is fighting all the weeds and everything else, though, so I may have to replant mustard. I like to get potatoes in by the beginning of March. We tried sweet potatoes last year with some small success. I'd like to grow green beans. And then I'd like to preserve a lot of what I grow. In the past, I grew cabbages. They were pretty good size and healthy, and I told myself I could just leave them there after they were ripe, and they'd be okay on the vine, and they weren't. They quickly got eaten by bugs, so that didn't work for me. So if I grow cabbage this year, and I'd like to grow cabbage, I want to harvest it and make sauerkraut from it. And I have a little sauerkraut maker that Pastor got me. When the grapes are ripe, of course, I want to make wine and possibly grape jam. When the blackberries are ripe, I want to make blackberry wine and blackberry jam. I'd like to gather the hickories and cook them up and make that hickory nectar that I've read about in historic books. Like to can some tomatoes. I didn't really grow enough tomatoes last year. The bugs just tore them up, but my neighbor gave me some. I'd like to make pickles from the cucumbers. I'd like to get cucumbers planted, carrots, turnips, and I have the seeds for the turnips right now. I'd like to get them in the ground. I'd like to grow the goat herd if possible. It's not really in my hands. If they kid and they have a female, I'd like to let her go ahead and get bred and get kid also, so that the goat herd is increased, with the goal of eventually selling some goats. What else? I want to be ready for fall when it comes, because now we've seen what fall brings here. I want to make sure we gather in the hackberries, the walnuts. That's it for gardening. I think we're going to have to do some more chicks this year. Now, we're probably not going to hatch them. We'll probably have someone else hatch them for us, but then raise them up to be adults. I've got some sewing projects. I mean, the list is endless. I always have things I want to get done, especially in the summertime. It's really important that if you're going to go through the trouble of having animals in a garden, that you use those resources wisely. You get them as well as you can. I'd like to work on the avocado some more. Turn it more into a guest house there, and we'd like to get our water system going. So we've got a lot of goals, and every year I have the goals, and then when I don't reach them, I get mad at myself. But it's not like I never get anything done, and it's usually someone else who comes to visit who reminds me, oh yeah, you got stuff done this year. You got the roof inside your house done this year. Things like that. So it makes me feel good to know that we're not just lazy bums. It's just we have a lot to do. We're people with a lot of goals. Yeah. So that's mainly what I've got ahead of me. If other things happen, that's great too. So Linda, I hope that answered your question. You guys will be coming along on the ride with us no matter what we end up doing. You know that. All right, thanks for watching, you guys. Bless you. Shalom.